Okay, welcome back. What I want to do is to continue looking at Unit 302. Okay, because it's quite a large unit in itself. Now here we are looking at building regulations. Okay. Now this just shows us what we were talking about previously in the other section, the Environmental Protection Act 1990. Okay, tonnage is an offence to dispose of, etc. If you drive, etc. The information that we looked at previously. Okay. So I don't need to go over this, but you'll need to look at this for yourselves and read information for yourselves so you know where you're at. Now here the outcome that we're going to be looking at is understanding the environment legislation, working practices and principles which are relevant to work activities. And here is your outline for that. So again, you read this for yourselves, make sure you understand what's being read, and that you then do any additional research using the HSC website, because that will give you an up-to-date information to any events or changes which has taken place. And again, remember to use the IET regulations. Remember one thing, you can never know too much, okay? There is no such thing as too much knowledge. You have knowledge, use it. Now building regulations, okay, and that's what we hope that you would have learned by the end of this session, okay? Now the building regulations applies to in all parts of the United Kingdom, okay? It sets standards for the design and construction of most new buildings and many alterations to existing buildings and structures. Country England and Wales responsible body, Department for Communities and Local Government. Now keep an eye on this, because again, as you know, government departments changes and then they develop new names, okay? And these are where you would find them under in different parts, Scotland, Northern Ireland, okay? Now building regulations for England and Wales. New building regulations for England and Wales have been introduced. 2010, any previous regulations are no longer in effect. Reference should now be made to the building regulations 2010 and the building improvement inspectors, etc. Regulations 2010 and their regulation numbers. Now again, be aware that there could be changes to that also since. So we need to keep an update on that, okay? Building regulation. The building regulation requires a building notice or plans to be deposited by a person who intends to carry out building work. And again here, make a change to building, make a material change of use. So if you're looking to do any changes, then you'll need to be aware that certain legislations will be in place. And you need to check those legislations before you do any building work of any kind. And again, make sure you read this information for yourselves, okay? Building regulations. Now here, material change of use, and this just gives you a list. There's material change of use where there is a change in the purpose for which or the circumstances in which a building is used. Below is a list of some examples. Buildings used as a dwelling where previously it was not, etc., etc. So again, read the information for yourselves. Okay, be aware of the building use and make sure that you are familiar with this. If you're calling to rewire a building, then you need to be aware of any legislations that might apply to that building, whether it's a listed building, etc. or not. Now, material change of use of the building. Where there is a material change of use of the building, work that is carried out must be done so that the building complies with the applicable requirements of Schedule 1 of the regulations. These include Part A, structure; Part B, fire safety; Part C, site preparation; Part D, toxic substances; Part E, resistance to the passage of sound; Part F, ventilation; Part G, sanitation; Part H, drainage; Part J, combustion, appliances and fuel storage systems; Part K, protection from falling; Part L, conservation of fuel and power; Part M, access to and use of buildings; Part N, glazing; safety in relation to impact, opening and cleaning; Part P, electrical safety. Okay, and the Part P is what will apply to us, but we have other responsibilities in the sense that we also need to comply with certain parts of this as well, because it affects our working environment. Now, Part P, there are other requirements of the building regulation that impact the electrical industry. Part A for construction and Part B for the safety, but it is Part P that is directly concerned with the safety of electrical installations. Okay. Part P requires that reasonable provisions shall be made in the design and installation of electrical installations in order to protect persons operating, maintaining or altering the installations from fire or injury. The requirements of this part apply only to electrical installations that are intended to operate at low or extra low voltage and are in or attached to a dwelling; B, in the common parts of a building serving one or more dwellings, but excluding power supplies to lifts; C, in a building that receives its electricity from a source located within or shared with a dwelling, and in a garden or on land associated with a building where the electricity is from a source located within or shared with a dwelling. Okay, now Part P is trying to make you aware that in regards to electrical installations, the installation must be done to the IET regulations. Okay, excuse me, I'm still talking in all terms of IEE, but let's refer to it now as the IET. I still have some books here actually showing me IET and IEE. Okay, but we'll stick with IET because that's the current legislation as it stands now. Okay, Institute of Electrical Technology. Now refer to those regulations, and all installations should be done to that standard. And you'll find that it actually specifies section in regards to Part P and what it would expect you to be doing in regards to that. So follow IET with specifications. So I'm just trying to make sure that I've not missed out any slides. Okay. Work which need not be notified to a building control body. Work consisting of replacing any fixed electrical equipment, placing the cable for a single circuit, refixing, replacing the enclosures, providing a mechanical protection, installing or upgrading main or supplementary potential bonding. Okay. Um, Work which need not be notified to a building control body. Okay, those simple changes is the only ones you're allowed to make, I believe. But again, check in regards to the regulations and check with your controlling body. Okay, to ensure that you are kept up to date with any changes which are taking place or which has taken place. Okay. Work which need not be notified to a building control body. Work that is not in the kitchen, also special location, and does not involve a special installation and consists of adding lighting points, adding socket outlets. Work not in a special location, telephone extra low voltage wiring, etc. etc. You can read this for yourselves. Don't need me to read this for to you now. Okay. So make sure it's all in. Okay. Now, special locations. Again, this is specified in the IET regs. Okay. For special locations. Special location, locations containing a bath, tub or shower basin, swimming pools or paddling pools, hot air saunas. Now, some of you might have heard of the drowning of the gentleman and two children in Spain, I believe, recently here. But you can see here swimming pools are considered to be a special location. So it is still interesting to know what events would have caused that tragedy when so much care has gone into making sure that such events doesn't actually happen. But nonetheless, I suppose these things are unexpected. Special installation, electric floor or ceiling heating, garden lighting, solar photovoltaic cells, etc. Small scale generators such as micro CHP units, extra low voltage lighting, etc. etc. Okay. Right, specific examples of notifiable and non-notifiable work which are listed by approved document P. These include, okay, now for some reason it's come to my mind there may have been some changes in regard to document P, but I am not quite sure. Now please check and confirm that for yourselves that document P is still part of the specifications and is still required. Something in my mind that I read the other day seems to tell me that it may have been amended or removed, but I could be wrong. Okay, again, read this for yourselves. You don't need me to be reading this to you. Okay, new circuits back to the consumer unit, replacement, repair, and maintenance jobs. Consumer unit replacement are notifiable. In large bathroom, the location containing a bath or shower is defined by the walls of the bathroom, conservatories, attached garages, etc., etc. Okay. And again here, specific examples of notifiable and non-notifiable work which are listed by approved document P. Just simply it continues, okay? And you can read this for yourselves. And again, still continues, okay? And again, this information here is again relevant to yourselves as electricians. You'll need to be able to be aware of this and take note of it, okay? Okay. And again, still continues on this, okay? Specific examples of notifiable and non-notifiable work. Okay. You can read it for yourselves, don't need me to read that out to you. Certification dates are different documents than a BSM system installation certificate and show compliance with all relevant requirements of the building regulations, not just Part P. Okay, building regulation compliance certificate, completion certificate, and final notices issued by approved inspectors. These certificates are evidence that compliance with the building regulations has been achieved and are issued on completion of notifiable works only. Sorry about that. Now, install register with a Part P competent person. So let me just expand that a little bit. 1 second. Installing register with a Part P competent person self-certification scheme are qualified to complete BS 7671 installation certificates. These installation certificates should be issued after every job they undertake. A copy of the certificate should always be given to the person ordering the electrical installation work, where installers are registered with a Part P competent person self-certification scheme and building regulations. Compliance certificate must be issued to the occupant either by the installer or the installer's registration body, such as NIC, EIC, NAPIT, etc., within 30 days of the work being completed. Now again, here you can read the rest for yourselves. I'm just trying to highlight the main points for yourselves as electricians. Okay. Where the installer is not qualified, then this is the process that he or she must then apply. Okay. Where such installers who may be contractors or DIYers carry out notifiable electrical work, the building control body must be notified before the work starts. Okay, because of emergency, the building control body should be notified as soon as possible. Okay. Okay, and this you can read for yourself. You don't need me to be reading that out to you. Okay, I hope that is quite clear in itself. Okay. Okay. Now, please do answer the questions, okay? I'm putting here for my good looks. Questions 1, 2, 3. Answer the questions, okay? Answer the questions. The answers is in the text. Read text through. Do not just partly read and then say the answers isn't there. I know that they're there. Otherwise, you'll be reminding me of my students when I give them a handout with the questions on it and the PowerPoints which we have just been through. First thing they do, put their hands up so I can't find the answer. Go over, flip the page over, 2 seconds, boom, the answer is there. Read the text. Okay, thank you. I think that's it. That will be it for us now. Let me just make sure I've got everything in. Sorry about that. Okay, yes I can. Okay. Alright, thank you. I will stop there now.